Hey, and welcome to the podcast. This is Fan the Flames Playoffs edition. It is May 16th? Well, deep into May. I'm Dan, that's Nate.
Hey, what's up?
We are back in the saddle after a small hiatus. We had to recompose ourselves after the Flames exit. Enough time has passed, so we decided to jump back on the mics again.
Dan,
ain't that right?
You should just tell it how it is. We went into a month dark downward spiral, and we are just coming out of it now.
There was some drinking involved, some talks of depression, a lot of dark rooms.
A lot of tough times.
But we are back, and there has been plenty of hockey played since last time. None really much Flames.
No Flames.
No Flames.
Should we relive the horror, or
before we do, let me kick things off with a little story, an observation I noticed, and this all starts off. What was it? San Jose versus Vegas, Game 7. What day was that? Back in April, late April,
a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So, I'm sure a lot of people witnessed what happened in third period. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? All right, I'll set the stage. So, San Jose is down 4-1.
3-0.
3-0. And it looks like the game is in hand. They're well controlling it. At the end, there was some contact. Pavelski, I think, takes a little bit of cross-check from Eakin, and then Stastny follows it up with, I think, a push downwards, causing Pavelski to smash his face on the ice.
Yeah, and to me, it looked like Stastny was just skating, and Pavelski kind of fell in his path, and there's a collision. Yeah,
you watch it over again, and it's clear that, like, the level of intent or there wasn't too much aggression in it, but Pavelski got hurt. He was out, I think, for the whole next series.
Yeah, he missed, I think they said 15 days.
Yeah, 15 days. So he was hurt. This Game 7 was in San Jose. First of all, I think they were signaling give Eakin the 2-minute cross-check. But the fans were going nuts. They were throwing shit on the ice. They had to go on the PA, calm down, and the refs changed it to a 5-minute major after seeing what happened to Pavelski.
Yeah, I don't think it was as much the fan reaction as all the blood and the fact he was unconscious.
I believe it was the fan reaction. I saw an arena, we're talking like 20,000 people, really mad. Their captain hit the ice. They were throwing shit. There was definitely shit hitting the ice.
True, but these are professional referees. It's not like it's their first game in front of 20,000.
It was their last game of the playoffs.
That's true.
Anyways, so we all know what happens after. San Jose surges back, scores 4 goals within that 5-minute major, leading the game. Marchessault ties it up, and then Barclay wins it for San Jose in OT, thus ending Vegas' run at the Cup, thus freeing up Mark Stone to go join Team Canada in Slovakia. Okay, you with me so far? All right, cut forward to May 13th. Slovakia versus Canada. Going to third, it is 5-5, tied up.
Pretty exciting.
There's about 5 minutes left in the game. It was 5-5, tied up. Slovakia takes a questionable call. So, power play for Canada. Canada takes it, and with 1 second left, they score by none other than Mark Stone. And the end result, and about 20,000 people in the stands crying. It was in Slovakia. They were showing people all over stands. They were crushed. It was a huge upset. A lot of emotions were hurt. So the way I see it was the events that happened in San Jose directly related to events that happened halfway across the world in Slovakia. And I just say, hey, that's something.
Yeah, butterfly effect.
But that's the game of hockey, and that's why we love it. Boom, there it is. You talk, Nate.
I'm just have my mind so blown by this story. But it is interesting sometimes to look at effect and effect, and if this didn't happen, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I know. Like a lot of it, you can come up with patterns that don't really exist, or like maybe this doesn't mean anything, but this is what happened. Mark Stone scored to win over Slovakia on his birthday too.
But like that's one example. But the one, as you were talking, that kind of came to my mind is 2004 when Calgary was playing Vancouver in the first round of the playoffs, and Iginla was coming for the empty net, and some fan threw a jersey on the ice, and that caused Iginla to miss the open net. And then he turned around to play defense. His stick was slashed out of his hand. He tripped on his stick. Vancouver came down the ice with 2.1 seconds left and scored and sent it to overtime. And we know the end, Jelena ended up scoring in overtime. We won the series in Game 7. But that whole event of throwing the jersey on the ice
resulted in a very, very close call.
And it was kind of one of these things where it was a negative. Like, we went to overtime. I remember my dad was so stressed. Everyone was just thinking, like, I can't believe it. That jersey on the ice could cost us this whole series. And then it gave birth to the eliminator, Martin Jelena, who scored his first series-winning goal of the playoffs.
Man, I love it. Yeah. I love little things like that happen. One thing can result in something else.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good stuff. Moving on. Shall we, recap Flames' performance? Is that what we're doing? We've had enough time to, divulge, absorb.
Yeah.
Come to terms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I would just say, not getting into like the details of each game, just sort of broad strokes, but going into the playoffs, the criticism of the Flames was they're not built for the playoffs. And I think in the end that was proven to be true. And even though it kind of was a surprise how badly they got outshot and outplayed, but a lot of their smaller players like Derek Ryan, Gaudreau, Zarnik, he only played one game, but a lot of the smaller guys did struggle to really impact the game.
So the big guys with Jankowski, he didn't do shit at all.
Yeah, you're right. Some of the bigger guys didn't do much either. But what's your opinion on how the officiating has changed from regular season to playoffs and how that affected the Flames?
I'm not remembering the calls in the game so well, but...
not the specific calls, but more like in the regular season, it was called so tight.
Yeah.
And from day one in the playoffs, it's been like a different rule book.
Yeah, and that's what they say. Playoffs is a different animal. And that allowed the Avalanche to really take the Flames. One guy in specific was that Russian D?
I can never... Zadorov?
Zadorov, yeah, man. He was owning Flames players left and right. He was running the boards, like getting under their skin. And he was free to play a heavy game against the Flames. Same with the rest of the Avs. And that's what they did. And the Flames didn't have an answer to the heavy checking of Colorado. I was unfortunate. I mean...
It's very true. It didn't seem like we could keep up with them physically. And, one example, even not so much physical, but just tactical / intensity is every time Gaudreau got the puck or was near the puck, or even when he was going off for a line change, they would slash him, they would hit him.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of slashes.
And he was getting very frustrated.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like we did the same thing to McKinnon. I know he's bigger and stronger, but we didn't take liberties with him. We didn't make it tough on him.
No, I mean, there wasn't any of that in response, like trying to physically outplay Colorado, because maybe that's not even an option for the Flames.
But it's not even about physical, like hitting. It's, slash the guy in the back of the legs, slash the guy in the hands, because that's what they were doing to Gaudreau. And it didn't seem we responded in the same, like they were playing by one.
Cheap.
Well, they were playing by one sort of set of moral rules, like we'll do this in order to win. We're willing to do this to win. And Calgary wasn't doing the same.
You're putting the Flames on a higher pedestal in terms of morality?
No, I'm just saying I think they should have gone down the same road.
But they didn't, and that caused them.
It did cost them, yes. Maybe not the series, but it showed the difference in intensity and desperation.
Yeah, interesting point. I didn't think of that way. Yeah, okay, but I agree, and the end result is the Flames team that just looked like they got outworked. We can even dwell on the missed opportunities. Frolik, Backlund had OT chances to finish, and they didn't get it. That could have been a swinger then.
Yeah, and even though we were outshot so badly in the 5 games, think about if we win 1 or 2 of those overtime games.
Yeah. Let me say this. Even though we were badly outshot, Mike Smith played excellent. Excellent hockey. That was fantastic goaltending.
He was good.
And for me, that was the biggest heartbreak, to see the skaters not respond to a goaltender playing so good. I remember there was talks about putting in Riddick for Game 3, just give him some experience. I think they were saying, well, now would be a good time to come off an OT loss.
In Game 3, but also in Game 3, I think about halfway through the game we were down 5-2 or something.
Yeah,
would have been a chance.
And that's why they were thinking, well, throw Riddick in for a third, give him some playoff, which I thought would have been nice. I mean, I don't know. It'd be kind of a cuss out to do that to Mike Smith, but at the same time, I'm interested to see what Rick can do in the playoffs.
Well, I have 2 points about the goaltending. One is specific to this game. Mike Smith all year has struggled when he got overloaded. So that was a chance to just give him like a half a game. He's still going to play the next one. You could have given him some break to rest, and also gives Riddick some playoff experience, because in this season or next season, maybe Riddick's going into the playoffs. It'd be nice for him to have some experience. So I think that was actually a mistake by the coaching staff.
Yeah,
not a big one, but they should have put Riddick in when the game was out of reach.
Yeah.
But the second point, and this one may be a little more contested, Smith did play great. But if you look at the wins and losses of Riddick and Smith all year, Riddick won games.
Yeah.
And I still would be curious, if he had played some of those games, big save Dave, would he have made that extra save in overtime or that extra save in the third period where we win the game?
Yeah, but in a performance like that, you have also wondered, would he have made the save that Smith was making, like a phenomenal mid-game save? Would he have made those as well? Smith was playing really, I don't know. I think because of the shaky regular season just made Smith look all that much more better in the playoffs. But he was making phenomenal saves.
He was great, but you look around the league, a lot of goalies in the playoffs played great.
Yeah.
And it's still about wins and losses. And maybe Riddick goes in the net, the team plays different in front of him. You don't know unless you try it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's the reason I think, especially at 3-1, we should have gone with Riddick. If you're losing the series, you need to change something. And I know going into Game 5, they changed the lineup. James Neal sat out.
Yeah, both times.
But why not really gamble and say, okay, Dave Riddick had the phenomenal regular season win-loss record. You're going in Game 5.
Hey, that would have been a hard call to make based off of what Smith was doing.
But he was losing. That is the stat that matters the most, wins and losses. So,
all right. Maybe